Alright everybody, so before this video starts, I wanted to basically say that this video is basically clarifying so many information that regards about me. Just the normal information regarding to me as a person, and regarding to when I talk to people, especially with the people that I talk to once in a while or all the time or sometimes, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of information and retrospects that might tinker everybody's brain once watching this video. And after this video, there is more clarifications that will be happening on this live stream that I may end up doing around during the time of the end of this week of that live stream, and you might see some changes from there too. And sorry with that hesitant right there, but that's all I need to say from here before you guys try to oh, this is a terrible video to kind of express on who you are as a person. Yes, maybe just for peer's sake, but the live stream will end up clearing that for sure. But other than that, enjoy the video, folks. What is up, everybody? My name is ctbtr, or known as Charles. And I'm going to try as best as I can to make this video as short as possible, so that way you guys get able to understand with these clarifications regarding to me as a person. So, you guys already know me, who I am. I'm a person who has autism and who has the belief and has never been diagnosed with the spectrum called Asperger, with a high functioning communication level. That's what I believe to have. I don't know for sure. I have to talk to a doctor about that. And I was originally diagnosed with autism through an old elementary school that I talked about from before, which is Del Rey. And that's where the story begins with my own journey. So, with me as a person, I still have these traits of things that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, everybody should be knowing this kind of somewhat already, but I might have to say it again here. I'm a person who has creativity. That's the whole entire motto of me, saying I'm just a guy who has a lot of creativity. And it's with my own capabilities, alright? And with what I put into my guidelines here, I was growing up with my family with the diagnosis of autism from my first elementary school, Del Rey. I went through a lot of bullshit and became a much better person, even after August 2025, when I had a major breakdown, a major type of where I have the melting point where I wasn't really myself, and what I have done is to regain my mental health for 6 months. And I'm going to continue to do that even more after this video and the final live stream that's happening around at the end of this week, as by the time this video comes out. I am bisexual, omnisexual, and demisexual. I'm mostly bisexual for the most part. I have learned so many mistakes to fix some small mistakes right then and there. But bigger mistakes cannot be fixed and ends up into the graveyard of big mistakes. I always get myself in trouble, being kicked around by karma with the consequences, and I do something if there's a brutal moment where it's really wrong, okay? And I have learned all that through, by the time when I started to realize, you know what, I need to start to respect people more. I need to start talking to people I never talked to that got me to where I am now today. and so much more. And what else? I help out with tech, mostly PCs, phones, and there's so much more I could do with understanding as well, and the list goes on from there. And what I do is I love exploring the lores of what it is, history, science, games, drawing, DIY, and music. And those are basically my hobbies. I love to do lore stuff, stories to tell, history, science, all that. My stamp for my own username, in case for those who forgot, is Charles Total Brutal T Rival, and it's super simple to know. And then the rest goes from there. Now, regarding to a couple few things about the videos that I made in the past, regarding to the moving forward and the moving on arcs, those videos in particular, and even before those type of videos, right? I did deliver them on a high note on what I did was wrong, and I made the biggest apology note during August 2025 when I was not myself, and yes, I did a major big mistake I ever done, and I owned it up to it, and I made the biggest apology ever. It's right there in my channel as a whole. If you go back in the community post of it all, of the timeline, it's already there. Once you see it, you see it. But yeah, I made mistakes along the way as a human being, and I have learned new tricks and learning to understand to let things go. That's the biggest major part of it all. And I still wanted to talk to the people that I want to talk to. Sometimes I don't have the chance to talk to the people I haven't talked to for a while. Even the ones that I just don't want to talk to ever again because of their alter egos. Or their egos in general. And regarding to that, the final moving forward arc video. The story of itself about me is still correct, by the way. The only major exception here is that when I was still dumb, I still had the jealousy of the people that I still have jealousy for. Now I really don't. I just don't give a shit about those type of people anymore. And the first good example of that is my ex. I have moved on from her from 3 years ago. I've been doing a lot much better than I ever was, comparing to where she's doing right now. I don't even know what she's doing now. But as far as I know, me and Philip, and yes, I have to mention his name here, we managed to make up what has happened, and we accept that whatever happens in the past stays in the past. Same thing with Jaime, same thing with everybody else that I know, just to name a few. And we're still able to talk to each other, which is good. That's good news, you know. And there's some people out, like my ex, I will never able to talk to again, because they will never understood what is really happening in the world. And that part will be part of the final live stream, and as a part 2 of the clarifications. And regarding to meeting new people and sort of stuff like that, I'm not trying to be as introvert as best as possible. I'm trying to be both introvert and extrovert, meaning dependent and independent on so many things. And I also want to be better than my previous selves as well. I want to focus on myself. I want to focus on my family. I focus on the couple of few people I always talk to all the time, to get my balance back to where I am. And my mental health is still great, by any means necessary. But regarding to the final episode and the ending of Gaming Revelations, that part will be it will also be in the final live stream, aka Clarifications Part 2. And it will answer biggest questions regarding to all of that. Now, to those who may think that I'm still a bad person, depending on the attitude, depending on the personality, depending on wherever I try to express myself, don't be discouraged about me, you know, being mean all the time. Everybody thinks that I'm a mean type of guy who just doesn't want to be around everybody. And to my own conclusion here, I'm not. I'm just like a dumbass who never actually starts learning the truth about how to let things go, how to be better and all that other stuff. And I have. And sure, you can still have the grudge to have an opinion about me. I don't really care. But when it comes down to the form factor of me as a person, don't expect to think that I'm a bad person who has a bad attitude or all those things. But in reality, when you start to see what I'm getting at, you're like, oh, okay, now I see what your problem was. Simple as that, you know? And another thing, too, everybody keeps on thinking that I'm straight or I'm gay or some shit like that, where it comes down to the way how I move my hands and, how to properly, move my own gestures, okay? And I have to tell you guys the truth here. This is the real truth when it comes down to me, when I act. The way how I speak is kind of somewhat girly, which is a questionable term to say, but it's more reminiscent to the term of, I hate to say it, but I'm not in the categorization of wearing those clothes. If you guys know what I mean. Femboy. Now hold on for a second. You guys will be like, whoa, this is like brand new information I never heard. Let me explain. In the simplest way possible. The reason I act like that is to express myself not being so muscular and not too feminism. I'm right where I'm at. I'm in put it this way. Pretend this is a timeline right here, right? And or the gap of like feminism over here and Mexican over here. I'm basically in the middle. Just because I am acting like this certain ways that I don't even express about how I feel, especially with my sexuality as well into the mix, does not mean I'm either this side or this side. I'm in the both. Basically, I'm centered, if that makes more sense. And the way I speak kind of makes up for that too. And also, I'm still smart in a few ways, especially knowing how to solve a Rubik's Cube and knowing about a lot of shit. And the final thing I want to mention here too is I have done changing things around of my own setup. Everything else that you see here still remains the same. Just a few minor changes right here with this box of a new drawer or some shit that I have to put up. But the biggest note here when it comes down to the final live stream is that my own dresser, the new one that's in the back here, is no longer here in that spot. It's now over here, and I will explain about that and what I did within last week. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. The second half of the clarifications will be happening on May 2nd, the final live stream for now until further notice. And hopefully this clears things up. This second recording is a little bit better than the first one I had tried to explain all this in the shortest way possible with this under 15 minutes. And that's it. So this is not edited. This is basically unscripted for me to express myself, to talk about what needs to be talked about. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and able to understand what I'm getting at. And hopefully this kind of retextualizes so much that needs to be said here. Other than that, I'll see you guys all in the final live stream for now until further notice. And as always, stay fresh, stay safe, watch your surroundings, and stay educated, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you all there. Bye-bye!